Sugar Defender claims to be the quote #1 rated blood sugar formula. Rated by who? This guy? But we're not just going to take some random dude's word for it. We're going to look into the research to analyze this supplement and see how effective it really is for controlling blood sugar and boosting energy. One big problem with supplements such as Sugar Defender is that they pack in too many ingredients into one formula. This creates what's called the dilution effect. For example, in a daily 200 mg dose of Sugar Defender, there are 23 listed ingredients. That means that each ingredient is only about 9 mg on average. That's like 2 grains of sand. It's such a tiny amount that it likely won't provide any real benefits. So even if a supplement is known to be beneficial, if you're not getting enough of it, it won't do you much good. As we dive into the ingredients, remember that this is a common issue we'll encounter. Let's look at the doses they use, whether they're using the active compounds, and if there's evidence they can help with blood sugar control or energy. Chromium is often found in supplements aimed at aiding diabetes and blood sugar regulation. Research on individuals with diabetes suggests that taking chromium might slightly reduce HbA1c, a marker for blood sugar, by about 0.6% and could result in a small weight loss of around 0.5 to 1 kilogram over 12 to 16 weeks. However, chromium seems to be most effective for people with poorly controlled diabetes. Studies on non-diabetic, overweight, or obese adults and children show that chromium doesn't lead to fat reduction or improved blood sugar control. So while chromium may have limited effects on fat and blood sugar in those with poorly controlled diabetes or PCOS, it's unlikely to significantly impact the general population. Moreover, the doses needed to see benefits from chromium are typically higher than 200 micrograms. Sugar Defender, however, only provides a measly 0.7 micrograms, which is nearly 300 times less than the lowest effective dose. With such a minuscule amount of chromium in Sugar Defender, it will have no meaningful effect. Maca is a root vegetable used in traditional medicine for boosting energy. There's a small clinical study suggesting that taking 2,500 milligrams of maca twice daily for 8 weeks might enhance some aspects of physical performance, like grip strength. However, this study isn't very reliable because it doesn't have a control group. Plus, it was conducted on a small group of elite male athletes, hardly representative of the general population. Grape seed extracts don't seem to be helpful for controlling blood sugar. There's some weak evidence hinting it might aid in cognitive function, but the doses needed are much higher than what's found in Sugar Defender. Guarana extracts are known for their high caffeine content, similar to coffee. Green tea contains some caffeine too, but also contains EGCG, a beneficial antioxidant. Drinking coffee or green tea daily seems to be more effective at preventing type 2 diabetes, rather than actively reducing blood sugar if you already have it. Observational research suggests that consuming caffeine from drinks like coffee or tea is linked to a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The caffeine content from both are also known to help with alertness. However, this by itself might not enhance exercise performance. One study found that a supplement containing guarana and caffeine didn't improve things like jump height or agility. Regardless, the effective doses are much higher than what Sugar Defender offers. African mango extracts have been examined in a few weak clinical trials for managing blood sugar and obesity. However, they use a specific extract called IGOB-131 at much higher doses than what's in Sugar Defender. Also, most trials don't have placebo groups, and they were all done by the same researcher, which likely introduces biases. Both Eleutherococcus, also known as Siberian ginseng, and Panax ginseng might help with controlling blood sugar in people with diabetes. However, when it comes to being used for energy and wakefulness, the research suggests otherwise. One study showed no improvement in endurance running for those taking Panax ginseng, and another found no performance benefits for runners using Eleutherococcus. So while these ginsengs might assist with blood sugar, they likely won't boost exercise performance as commonly believed. Astragalus and Gymnema are traditional herbs that might help control blood sugar. However, research indicates they require doses much higher than what's in Sugar Defender to be effective. We're talking about doses in the tens of grams per day. People often believe that extracts from Coleus, forskohlii, and capsaicin can burn fat and aid in weight loss. But studies show that neither of these actually lead to any real weight loss. For instance, let's take Coleus forskohlii. Some claim it helps with weight loss based on certain studies. However, upon closer examination, these trials reveal that Coleus forskohlii isn't any more effective than a placebo for shedding pounds. One study even starts off a bit misleading. The group taking Coleus forskohlii initially weighed less than the placebo group. So while it may seem like they lost more weight in the end, the actual weight loss doesn't differ from the placebo group. So the idea that Coleus forskohlii aids weight loss isn't supported by solid human evidence. The myth likely stems from studies like these, which yes, looked at obesity, but found Coleus forskohlii no better than a placebo for losing weight. Similar with capsaicin, studies in humans indicate that taking cayenne extracts doesn't significantly affect weight. Research also suggests that consuming capsaicin doesn't lead to substantial fat loss or increased energy expenditure. Although grapefruit seed extracts and raspberry ketones are sometimes included in weight loss products, there's no solid evidence to support their effectiveness for weight loss or blood sugar control. Amino acids like L-glutamine, L-tyrosine, L-arginine, beta-alanine, L-orthanine, L-tryptophan, and L-carnitine are used by people aiming to enhance focus, energy, and exercise performance. However, their effectiveness varies. Beta-alanine seems to have the most evidence supporting its performance benefits, while L-glutamine has the weakest evidence. The others fall somewhere in between, with mixed or conflicting evidence. Typically, these amino acids are taken in doses of several grams per day, far more than what Sugar Defender offers. Monoammonium glycyrrhizinate comes from licorice root and has various potential uses. However, there's no evidence to suggest it helps with blood sugar control or energy levels. GABA is often used to manage mood and anxiety, but the evidence supporting its effectiveness is weak. Most of the evidence comes from theoretical research, rather than actual studies showing real human benefits. Now let's summarize the ingredient analysis. First off, we're cutting out ingredients that lack any evidence supporting blood sugar control or any health benefits related to it. Next, we're removing ingredients that don't impact blood sugar control, and despite having some research benefits, haven't reliably shown any real benefits in humans beyond possibly a placebo effect. Moving on, we're pinpointing ingredients that might boost energy or related aspects like athletic performance, mood, or cognitive function, but don't specifically aid blood sugar control. Now let's find ingredients that have shown some promise in controlling blood sugar, particularly in people with diabetes or metabolic issues. Among these, chromium stands out with the strongest evidence when used at doses ranging from 200 to 1,000 micrograms per day. Lastly, we're scrapping ingredients that likely don't provide enough of a dose to be beneficial. That leaves us with a grand total of exactly 0 useful ingredients. That's right, Sugar Defender doesn't provide any single ingredient at a useful dose, not even close. Simply put, Sugar Defender is completely useless for controlling blood sugar, as well as aiding in energy and weight loss. It's not that the ingredients chosen are necessarily bad. Some of them actually have potential benefits for blood sugar control, even though the evidence is weak. The real issue lies in Sugar Defender's attempt to pack too many ingredients into one formula. This approach makes it impossible to get a meaningful dose of any ingredient. Consequently, we're left with a supplement that's completely worthless. Sugar Defender is selling for around $70 per month. If I want to replicate what it was trying to do far more effectively, I would just take a moderate dose of chromium. Generic chromium is literally $1 to $2 a month. Rating Sugar Defender by effectiveness for improving blood sugar, I'm giving it an F. It's completely useless, and you'll be better off dropping some water into your mouth. Rating it by cost, I'm giving it an F. It can be easily replicated at a much cheaper cost by taking chromium at a moderate dose. Rating it for safety, I'm giving it a B. There are a number of ingredients that have potential to cause issues, but the doses are so low, they're unlikely to do much of anything. Overall rating, I'm giving it an F. I would recommend you stay away from it. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young. Do you think it's worth it? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave me a like. Hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date, and share this video with someone you know can use the info.